Atlantis, a world where knowledge and wisdom have been abandoned and decay has set in. So goes the premise of this immersive simulation. If that opening is familiar, it is because we acknowledge that our own world has abandoned its history to pander to the interest of those who seek only to fulfill their selfish goals. The question to ponder then is this: are those entities, whether organizations, states, nations, or groups of individuals, evil, or simply prisoners of history, economics, geography, and the like? In the quest that I propose, students will research that very question. Is it entirely possible to pursue a course in which national policies supersede moral boundaries? Can entities pursue objectives with the right of self-preservation as a justification, or must they adhere to universal rights of existing? To exemplify these points, take American economic interest. Many U.S. companies exist to maximize their profits, but at what cost? When a company decides to move its manufacturing operations to another country, they are acting upon their right of self-preservation. However, upon further inspection, they are hurting the people in the two places they engaged. In the U.S., they are creating higher numbers of unemployed workers. In the countries where they have relocated, they are creating jobs but are also subjugating those workers to low wages and unhealthy working conditions. Additionally, these companies are not subject to environmental laws and receive huge tax incentives. The quest that I propose is based on the balance between economic and humanitarian interest. My model is the Chinese-Sudanese connection. In order for China to expand its economy, it needs massive amounts of energy. One of the countries that cheaply supplies its energy is Sudan, with its large reserves of petroleum. However, in the western part of Sudan is a region known as Darfur, where hundreds of thousands of people have been killed and millions have been forced to flee their homes. Should China ignore the problem and continue to buy oil? Is this policy what is keeping the current regime in power? Why do other countries sit still and say nothing? Whose interests are superior? All these are questions that students should explore in Quest Atlantis. Here's the premise. In the Eastern Hemisphere on the planet Atlantis, the Goldrians continue to dot their land with thousands of factories. In fact, their scientists have invented a new fuel that is cleaner than the one that the Goldrians use to power their factories, vehicles, and homes. This fuel is made from crystals, and Goldria, their country, does not have any. However, the Goldrians have just signed a treaty with the Alliance, a group of countries in the Southern Hemisphere. Unbeknownst to the rest of Atlantis, the Alliance has secretly enslaved hundreds of thousands of Rickerns, the minority group of natives who inhabit the Southern Hemisphere. The Council of Atlantis has heard rumors for some time and has decided to dispatch an envoy who will be protected by a small band of Atlantean knights. The quest is to ascertain the truth. If it turns out that the Alliance has indeed been enslaving the Rickerns, then it is the envoy's mandate to negotiate an end to this practice. If that fails, then it will be the Atlantean knights who must end this practice by any means necessary. The quest for students will be to balance the situation. Is one situation superior to the other? If the new fuel is environmentally friendly and helps save the Atlanteans from potential planetary catastrophe, do the needs of the global populace outweigh the freedom of the minority? Are there bad guys in all of this? What is the solution? Ultimately, it is up to the student to decide.